Hello, raw vegan heroes. Boy, it's my absolute pleasure to be here with all of you today. Oh yeah, a Friday live stream. Back in the saddle right here on the live stream. It's been 2 weeks and I couldn't be happier to be here. I love the Friday live streams because it's a chance to feel the power of our amazing community, which is so freaking powerful. We're almost at 2,000 members, and every single one of you is literally miraculous. Do you know that your 10% is someone else's miracle? Oh yes, when you're in it trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to juice, having cravings, in the mess of it, you know, pulp and watermelon rinds, and you're like, I'm still hungry, I don't know how to do this. You're struggling to stay raw vegan. That struggle, that mess that you've created there, trying to figure that out, that is feeling like I can barely hang on. Maybe it's your 10% and it feels like such a mess and chaotic. That's a miracle for somebody else. If you took that little 10% mess that you've created, trying to figure it out, and you shared that with somebody else, that would be a miracle for them. It could be life-changing. And that brings me to this week's theme, everybody. This week's theme is your self-abandonment is the key to your freedom. You might be like, Shane, brother, you're crazy. My self-abandonment has nothing to do with my freedom. However, the places that we've abandoned ourselves give us the roadmap to our highest level of freedom. Let's take, for example, if we're overweight. Let's say you're 300 pounds. Now, I know not all of you are, but some of you are. Let's say you're 300 pounds. And deep down, you have shame around that. You have a shame that you've let yourself go and that you really don't want to be 300 pounds. You'd love to be 130 pounds. But you're 300. Someplace in your life, someplace in your past, you abandoned that 300-pound person and you said, that person's not worthy of my love. That person sucks. That person's a failure. I don't approve of that person. And you abandoned part of yourself, and there they are. The fat person, the 300-pound person that you abandoned is still right there, unloved, unaddressed. Now imagine if we went back in time to when we gave up on ourselves and we put our arm around ourselves and we said, hey, you, hey, little fatty 300-pound person who I don't approve of, why don't you come along? Why don't you come on the journey with me now? Let's come into present time. And you said, hey, this is the 300-pound version of me that I really hate and I don't like this person. And you said, hey, everybody, hey, friends and family, hey, social media, here's the person that I hate most. Here's the person that I abandoned. Look what a failure. Look what a slob. Look what a loser. Look at what a person that can't handle their shit. Look at this person. And you said, hey, here it is. This is me. This is what I did. That would give you absolute freedom. You would be free of the shame. You would be free of the guilt. You'd be free from that 300-pound person. Now, let's say, for example, you got stuck in a 9-to-5 job that isn't very fulfilling. You know, maybe you're doing work that's not very fulfilling and you don't make enough money. Say you'd love to have an extra $10,000 or $20,000 a month to save up for, pay for vacations for your family, pay for special horseback riding lessons or whatever it is for your kids. Say you want an extra $20,000 in your life, but yet you're stuck at this 9-to-5 job. Where did you abandon yourself? Now let's go back in time for a second to where you gave up on that person and that person said, you know what, this 9-to-5 job is just gonna have to do because I don't know how to do this. I'm a loser, I'm incapable. And you said, you know what, I hate that person. I hate that person who gave up. That person who can't figure it out, that person who can't muster up the power to start that business, to put myself out there consistently on social media, to speak my truth, to start that dream business I always wanted to. That requires a part of me now. I just don't have time because, you know what? That loser sits there at that 9-to-5 job every day. You abandoned that person who's sitting there at that 9-to-5 job every day, who doesn't make enough money to pay your bills and go on vacations. You abandoned that person. You did. Well, let's say we go back in time and we say, hey, you loser, what a freaking loser you are. But hey, you know what? I love you anyway. Let's come into real time. And you said, hey, friends and family, here's the loser who can't make any money. Here's the loser who gave up on my dreams. Here's the loser who really is capable of starting that dream business. It would be so cool. The world needs it. And yet I sit on my butt at my 9-to-5 job, listening to my stupid boss who I hate. But here it is. This is me. That self-abandonment gives you the path to your financial freedom, because you know what? If you went back and you looked at the needs, and here's the key, if you looked at the needs that you had when you abandoned yourself, when you said those needs are so deep and so unmeetable that I can't deal with those needs. But if you said, what are those needs that led me to self-abandon myself? Those needs give you the roadmap to your financial freedom, your empowerment, the version of yourself you really want to be, having the dream job, the dream love partner, the sexy badass girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, the body, the fitness and the influence, where people are proud of you and you're proud of yourself. People look up to you and you look up to yourself. You prove to yourself over and over again that you're really, really reliable and trustworthy and successful and badass. And you have everything in your life that proves that to you. Your bank account proves it to you. The person sitting in your bed proves that to you. The car you drive, the house you live in, the neighborhood you live in, the town you live in, the people who follow you, the feedback you get, it all proves it to you. Why? Because you listen to the needs. So, where we self-abandoned gives us the roadmap to our freedom. Because if we go back and we accept that person, we bring it in present time and we lead with it and we tell the world and we stand at the mountaintop and we shout it from the rooftops and we say, this is how I abandoned myself, everybody. Now what do I do? Well, I had all these needs and it was so much that I forgot about it because it was too much. I couldn't fulfill it and I just gave up on myself. Those needs are still there. And now if I work on those needs, that pathway to fulfilling those needs gives me the freedom. It gives me the job. It gives me the money and the love. That's it. That is it. That's what we're all trying to do. That's what we're trying to do with a raw vegan diet, because you know what? Food doesn't make us great. Food is a tool to clear the pathway to get intimate with ourselves so that we can heal the abandonment trauma. The food is an intimacy tool so we can more clearly see how we've abandoned ourselves. So all of you who are called to a raw vegan diet, you have abandoned yourself and you're using raw food and you're using juicing as a tool to try to get back to the person you abandoned. And while it is an effective key, it's just one of the components. So I want to remind you this because I know all of you know this already. But we just need a little reminder because we're only human. And we get lost in the forgetfulness of it. And when we abandon ourselves for too long, it's easy to forget that we've done so. And then we take on this story that I am the loser. I am the person stuck in the 9-to-5 job. I am the 300-pound person when you're not. You never were that person. You just forgot that you abandoned yourself years ago. So, I'm reminding you all, because we need a little reminder. We need a little kick in the pants sometimes. Come on. We can all do this if we just remember that our self-abandonment, where we gave up on ourselves, gives us the roadmap to our fulfillment. Now, it's messy along the way. Oh, yes, it's messy and chaotic, but your 10% is someone else's miracle. Don't forget that. Your story of self-abandonment is the exact permission somebody else needs to break free from their despair and their self-abandonment. If you can remind someone through your own story, so I abandoned myself many times. Part of why I'm raw vegan today is because I am using the tool of raw food to get back to the intimacy of self-care, to bring all the abandoned parts of myself up to the surface so I can see them and examine them clearly and look at them honestly. I abandoned myself years ago in my early 20s around being a successful man in the world, being a successful boy, monetarily and every other way. I was too disillusioned by the world. It was too hard. And I didn't like the world so much. I didn't like the behavior of humans. I didn't like the systems. I didn't like the factory farming system, the military industrial complex system, the corporate greed, food matrix system. I didn't like how people were oppressed and all this. And I said, well, that's too much. I have so many needs here. It's overwhelming. I can't handle this. Bye-bye. And I abandoned myself at 21. And I decided I'm not going to pursue financial education. I'm not going to pursue money. I'm not going to pursue success. I'm not going to pursue my enjoyment of life. I'm not going to pursue because I didn't fit in. But now, as I reclaim myself, as I realized where I abandoned myself, I said, well, yeah, but that part of me that didn't fit in, that's the part of me that has a really powerful message to bring today. And it doesn't matter that I don't fit in. Of course I don't fit in because I'm here to change it. I'm here to create a better world. So of course I don't fit in. But if I apply myself to the ways that I have abandoned myself, if I apply myself to the needs that I truly have, that helps a lot of people. And then I have the financial reward because of it, because I'm applying myself consistently to the needs that I never had fulfilled. And that helps other people meet the needs that they don't have fulfilled. This is an inside job. The last thing I'll say before we get to the questions this week is that this is an inside job. When we empower ourselves from within, we create success, we create value, we create health. It comes from within. Food doesn't make us healthy because if we don't address the empowerment, the abandonment, and the pathway to our fulfillment from within, the food will never get us there. Juice fasting will only be a temporary band-aid that you'll abandon again because you never addressed the original abandonment of yourself. So don't try a juice fast and then give up on yourself. Address the real issue and use juice fasting to propel yourself to a new level of clarity to see the self-abandonment that really drives your behavior and the lost needs that you never fulfilled that truly hurt you still to this day. That's the way we become the successful person. I never thought I was capable of earning $500,000 a year when I was 21 because I felt like this world is screwed. I don't like money. I don't like the people who have money. I don't like anything about it. But as I apply myself to that hurt inside of me that I just abandoned because it was too much, then that generates the value where money's just a representation, success and impact and reach as an influencer, as a coach. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the outward representation is because I've done the work inside. The work inside represents what I have on the outside. That's all it is. So I hope that's helpful, everybody. That was my little reminder. And I remind you of this because I care so much about all of you. I care so much about the Raw Vegan Heroes community, your well-being, and ultimately we're here to remind each other. We're not in this alone. I'm only as strong as the weakest link, the person who's suffering the most, the animal who is suffering the most. I'm only as strong as that consciousness. So my goal is to bring up other leaders. My goal is to empower other people through not leading by saying, this is what you do, but leading by being the example and talking about how I did it, because that's all we can do. My 10% is someone else's miracle. When I feel tired, worn down, incapable, ineffective, worn out, exhausted, like my life is a mess, I can't keep going, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, which is quite often, that's when I just say, hey, look, I don't have to be perfect. My perfection doesn't help people. My perfectionism doesn't help people. Me being willing helps people. I'll be honest, every time I come on these live streams, I'm always like, God, am I going to look good, feel good? What am I going to say? I don't know. But I do it anyway because it doesn't matter what my little ego mind says. It's that we remind each other, that we show up through an example. We all have this capability. Every single one of you on today, right now, has this pathway to ultimate fulfillment and success in your life. And raw food is a tool of intimacy. Intimacy is how we heal our trauma. Intimacy is how we heal the self-abandonment. The more intimate you get with your shadow, the unclaimed, unloved, abandoned part of yourself, the more you will excel to the next level. That's empowerment. From within, this is the path of awakening. This is the path of self-actualization. This is actually the enlightenment, the clarity, whatever it is, the awakening path that we're looking for. It's all inside. It's all inside.